Muskeg, the soft, swampy landscape that typically covers vast areas of the James Bay lowlands. It looks pretty much the same in any direction, as far as the untrained eye can see. But what you can't see, and what makes this particular patch of muskeg anything but typical, is what was discovered underneath it: diamonds. And just as a diamond is no ordinary mineral, this was no ordinary project. Building a diamond mine in this remote location was a billion-dollar investment. DeBeers Canada chose AMEC to manage the project. Together, they built much more than a diamond mine. They created a tremendously successful business alliance. Fundamental to that success was AMEC's commitment to be here from start to finish, from muskeg to diamonds.
My name is Jeremy Wythe. I'm Vice President of the Victor Project and have been involved in the project for the last 6 years, taking it basically from the pre-feasibility stage through to where it is now, an operating mine. When we went through the selection process, we wanted a company that could take us through the design phase and into the construction phase. Quite a few of the competing companies weren't able to do that.
AMEC was. For although the Victor Project is Ontario's first diamond mine, it wasn't AMEC's first diamond mine. AMEC provided engineering and construction management services for the Ekati Diamond Mine in the Northwest Territories. When it opened in 1998, Ekati was Canada's first diamond mine. As a pioneer in the Canadian diamond mining industry, AMEC was uniquely positioned to assist DeBeers Canada with the full range of evaluation and development services needed to bring the Victor project into production. In 2002, AMEC and DeBeers Canada signed an alliance agreement. AMEC became the preferred and long-term supplier of engineering, consulting, and project construction management services for DeBeers Canada. Their goal was ambitious: to build a diamond mine on the Muskeg, 90 kilometers west of the First Nation community of Attawapiskat, 350 kilometers from the nearest permanent road.
The scope of this alliance is for all Canadian projects. That includes the various phases of project development as well, beginning with pre-feasibility, then the feasibility, basic design, engineering, procurement, construction management, environmental assessment support, geotechnical design, the logistics program, project management, commissioning. It's a very complete scope, unusually complete in the industry.
My experience in this is that most of the success is based on individuals, where you actually form trust levels with the team that you're working with. And in our situation, we had a strong leadership team that was chosen and put forward by AMEC. And we seamlessly integrated the DeBeers people and the AMEC people into one team.
People are in there because that's a time when they actually do the hands-on training and getting familiar with it.
I'll have to check, but I don't see a problem when we hit C3. Yeah.
For us, the synergies that were available here, and probably the biggest success for us there was sitting in meetings with contractors, where at the end of the meeting they would ask who actually worked for DeBeers and who worked for AMEC.
The teams involved in the project at AMEC were well aware of its challenges and knew there was a lot riding on its success. In the end, the integrated AMEC-DeBeers team model delivered an enviable outcome.
The teams that were put together and the integrated model worked exceptionally well for us. And as a result of that, we've managed to pull the project in ahead of schedule and under budget. In fact, it's pretty rare to achieve both of those milestones.
Contributing significantly to that achievement was the consistent dependability of AMEC's intelligent engineering 3D models. By eliminating construction interferences, they simplified material assembly and installation. This was one of the many incremental successes that occurred through all phases of the project over a 6-year period from start to finish. Along the way, this event was especially significant.
We are here to commemorate the construction of Ontario's first diamond mine.
It had been 3 years since the AMEC-DeBeers alliance was signed. the site was ready for construction to begin. There was finally enough firm ground in place to have a groundbreaking ceremony. What did it take to get this far? It began with environmental baseline studies. The data that was collected helped paint a detailed picture of the water, land, and wildlife in the area around the mine site.
Here's today's sample.
This information was needed to help monitor the impact of the project as it moved forward. The environmental studies were of particular interest to the First Nations of the James Bay lowlands. They have been consulted continually on various aspects of the project.
The environmental assessment was an extremely lengthy process that we went through. It took us between 2 and 3 years to complete. The success again here was actually integrating the environmental team into the project office. And our experiences elsewhere had been that managing those interfaces were very difficult.
Environmental assessment and permitting proceeded hand in hand with various engineering studies. The feasibility study made it very clear what could make or break this project. Logistics.
We treated the logistics program at Victor as a separate project, as a sub-project. And we had involved with that a very dedicated team led by, I would say, a world-class group of logistics experts.
The key logistical challenge was moving all the material required to the site. The feasibility study concluded that the main supply route for the project would be a 380-kilometer winter road. Significant improvements had to be made to the existing winter road between Moosonee and Attawapiskat. 90 kilometers of new winter road were created between Attawapiskat and the mine site.
We knew we would have to move during the peak freight year something around 2,000 loads of freight in a period of about 7 weeks. On top of that, we would have to move 300 or 400 loads of fuel on the same road. Now, to move this many loads so quickly, to minimize the damage where you are unloading trucks in Concord onto a train, you're unloading the train in Moosonee, then you're loading a truck in Moosonee to drive to site, you're unloading at site, and you're moving to a laydown area, that many freight movements, you need to make sure that the packing and the transport is robust as possible. The best thing that we thought of was to move as much as possible in containers and also in using flat racks. That was really the strategic decision that made the freight movement successful. Once the freight got to site, and it was quite a sight to see in March when the winter road closed, there were canyons of containers outside here, just stacked 4 high and 6 deep. And the amazing part was that throughout the summer, we were able to locate any container and move it to the destuffing area within 24 hours. And what made that possible was the use of RFID tags. When the containers arrived at site, we would scan the RFID tag so we know what container it was. Then we moved it to the laydown area. We would scan it again so we knew where it was in the stacking sequencing. It was a huge benefit to us.
The winter road and the use of RFID tags was a winning combination. That ensured that there were no construction delays due to the delivery system or misplaced materials. But efficiency at the Victor project had an equally important partner: safety.
Just a couple of things we'd like to go over before you head on out there. We are doing lots of overhead lifting in there, so please be aware that there will be cranes used in there, and you need to be aware when you hear the horns honk on the crane that you don't walk under suspended loads.
Step in it like that. Okay.
Everyone who worked on the Victor project is proud of the phenomenal safety record they achieved. Over 3.5 million consecutive hours with no lost time incidents.
We believe that if you plan for safety, everything else follows, because the plan for safety, you need to plan your work. That's the way you achieve your success. Plan, plan, plan. AMEC is here on the Victor project from start to finish. We've started in the pre-feasibility study, journeyed into the feasibility study, basic design, all the project phases into commissioning. We've maintained the same key staff throughout this period of time. We have a project history. We've planned from the very beginning with the end in mind.
The end for AMEC is just the beginning for DeBeers Canada. Over the 12 years the mine will be in production, it's expected to produce 2.7 million tons of diamonds, or 600,000 carats per year. From an alliance that began in 2002 to the commissioning in 2008, AMEC has been here, from start to finish, from muskeg to diamonds.